How are you? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take some pipe and some fittings and we're going to build a roof rack. Now I'm over at my neighbor's house getting ready to work. They've let their dog outside. She's over here laying down. She's quiet, but this one helps sometimes. So you just have to put up with the dog. So what we're going to do right now is we're going to set up some pipe, we're going to measure it, and we're going to start cutting out pipe for making our roof rack. So I'll get back to you as soon as we get going here. My shotgun mic is not as good as I would like it to be. So I'm using my lavalier mic for everything we're doing. This is a Milwaukee chop saw. And this pipe here is, let me get this sort of set up. There we go. This is 28 millimeter diameter pipe. It's called goblin pipe, and what it is a steel pipe that's covered in plastic. If I've done my weight calculations correctly, a 2-foot span will hold 284 pounds. So what we're doing is we're going to be building a roof rack that's 65 inches across and 24 inches deep and 20 inches high. So let's get started. Hopefully we'll have enough cable to reach the other. Okay. So like they said, you want to measure twice and cut once. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going back. I want to double check my measurements because mistakes are easy to make. Okay. All right, now what I have in my hand here these are the clips that go together on the pipe. They fit like that. And this is what we're going to be bolting together. What I want to double check is I want to double check the measurement on this pipe. I put the pipe all the way in. The pipe doesn't fit all the way to the end. It only goes part way because there's a bolt right here in the center that you're going to go to. Okay, that's giving me an inch. Roughly. So my inside measurement's got to be 65 inches minus an inch on each end, 64, 63. So what I need to do is I need to cut 63 inches off the top of this pipe. And this will give us our first cut. Back this out a bit. Slide this back. Saw hits right there. Tighten this down, double check, yep. And now the next thing we need to do is always want to be wearing your hearing and eye protection. Put the hard hat on, tighten it up, drop the earmuffs, that side too. Alright. Drop down my face guard. There we have our first pipe cut. Grab a bunch of parts. Put the mic back on. Keep the file. Alright, this is brand new. This is the first pipe I've cut. So it's going to go a little slow. You'll just have to bear with me. This is the first clip. And it's going to kind of fit in there like so. Alright, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to cut another one the same length as this. And then I'm going to cut a 20-inch piece because we're going 20 inches high. Measure away, make this cut. One thing that I have to say about Priya. Priya is a German Shepherd. She's a purebred. She's a rescue from the streets. I've had her since the 5th of May. And the only time she barks is when there's a cat around. Very quiet, very well-disciplined dog. Doesn't make a lot of noise. But while we've got that set up in the saw, just might as well file off the other end. Get rid of all of the little bits of chunks of stuff we don't need. Let's whip this around the other way. Make it a little easier. So it's not junk, and it's very important that we get everything flat because the next piece is coming off of this one. Now, yes, I could set up a grinder with a blending disc to do this, but for now I'm going to do it by hand simply because I got to learn to work with this material. Now, in addition to making the roof rack, this material is going to be used to go inside the Hilux. Now, the back seats, as I've said in other videos, are coming out. So because the back seat is coming out, what I need to do is I need to build a frame, which is what I'm going to do with this frame being about 27 inches high. It'll be used for the same stuff. And I'll be building basically a bench across the top. And things like my tools and my Snowmaster Dual Door 85, which I just painted on the deck. Now, I want to go 20 inches high. So the easiest way to do this is just put this here. Somehow. These apart, I'll be putting blue Loctite, probably red Loctite, on these bolt threads. Red Loctite does not let go. Red Loctite, basically you got to heat the thing to get it off. Blue is removable. If you don't put on any, you get out on the road, all the vibrations will shake all the nuts and bolts loose, and everything's going to fall apart. Now the nice thing about these particular nuts is they have this little barrel that's threaded, and the threaded barrel drops into one of the... Come over this way, see if you can pick it up with it. Don't want to step on my mic cord. Okay, so this is the clamp that you hear me talking about. This is obviously 1/2. And this nut has got a little barrel step on it. It fits inside the hole, like so. Now, if I don't put Loctite in here, this is going to rattle loose eventually. And when it rattles loose, it all falls apart, and you lose everything, and you have a mess, and we don't want that now, do we? So, we have end caps. We've got some assembly done. We've got this thing turned. That's what our box is going to look like. I'll move the camera around a little later on, show you what you're looking at later. Now these brackets, I started to show you yesterday. And they go like this. Now what they're going to do is they're going to hang like this. So what you're seeing now is the first pipe coming in like so. There's going to be a bracket here. And there'll be another pipe coming across here. Got in my own way. Bracket in there. Kind of do this to show you what it's going to end up like. So we'll have another pipe hanging through like that. So you're going to have a rail on the top, and you're going to have a double rail on the bottom. So there's going to be 2 rails in here all the way around. So the next thing I need to do is I need to start cutting pipe 22, 22, both ends, 63 for the rails. So I need another top rail, another bottom rail, all the way around. So we're going to start cutting that, and then we're going to get some assembly done. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I have one more clip, and this is going to go in here like so, and that'll go in like this. Work off this other rail so you can see what they're doing, so the saw isn't away. But there's going to be another rail sitting in here. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to start cutting all these pieces. I'll bring you back when all the cutting's done. Clean them up. Take it apart. Grab it in. And the bolt is the hole. Okay. Now this is the first of 2 clamps. That we have for the side rail. Wants to give me a hard time, so we'll let it. Put the bolt in, put this on, bring this up into place. Push that right against the corner, which is where I want it. All right, we're working on the inside now. We're working on putting our floor members in. all done. The only thing that has to happen now is that the metal that I just cut has to go back to my place, or I can do it here. And this metal barring has to get painted white. But there is our completed, almost completed, because we need to get the plastic, or pardon me, the tarp made. That's it. That's the front. This is the back. This is flooring. And that's the F-18 Hornets leaving from the military base just over my shoulder. Once again, that's the sound of freedom you're listening to. You get to watch the planes. There's one thing I'm going to miss when I leave here is not being able to watch the planes. I enjoy watching that. But as soon as that is painted and dried and the tarp is made, we're ready for the next step. And the next step will be attaching it to our roof assembly, and that'll be another video. So thank you for watching. I hope that you learned something. This isn't hard to do, it just takes time. All my bolts now are all ground off, all the way around. All my nuts are inside, no sharp edges. So until we get this painted, we get the tarp made, we're going to shut this part of our job down. We're going to call this part of the job complete. The tarp is something I can't do. I have to farm that out. So that's a job in itself. And then attaching this to the roof is the next along the line of things to do. So thank you very much. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. And I'll be continuing to add little build things as we go along. God bless you.